Well, guys, I want to go next to talking about investors. You know, what's going on with investors these days? I know here locally things have changed with the ADU rules. I know the cost of borrowing money has changed. I know buyer appetite is still there, but affordability in some parts of the country is not, but inventory is there. So from an investor perspective, is it smart to get into real estate now? Is there a reason why you should maybe wait? Let's weigh the differences of waiting versus going in. And what are some of the things facing investors right now when it comes to financing and buying real estate?
Listen, right now, investors, I just saw this in Bigger Pockets. 1 out of 5 buyers is an investor. 1 out of 5 buyers is taking advantage of somebody else's opportunity to do a fix and flip, to do a fix and hold, to do a ground up construction on it. There is different ways of how investors are looking at properties now.
Yeah.
Because of all the creative type of financing that they're able to obtain, these DSCRs, these fix and flip, ground up construction. We can do fix and flip with 10% down, no experience. It's just, I'm just glad we got into that industry in 2023. We had to adjust. We're always so used to traditional financing, our VA, conventional, FHA, USDA, not much of that. But in 2023, we had to readapt the way we do business. And so we're like, well, tell me more about fix and flip. How difficult is this? And now that we're seeing it more and more, it's like, I got intrigued. We're doing a lot of those loans now. Yeah. And it's all about, again, aligning yourself with the proper partner to help your investor that's purchasing that property, and you being that soundboard and guidance for them to get into a good deal and making sense of that.
Yeah. And to Will's point, I feel like it's not easier to buy an investment property right now, but it's more accessible to buy one. What I mean by that is that, like Will said, you can come in with 10%. You're not using any of your personal income. You can JV with somebody that has the money if you find the deal. You can have the seller carry some of that, financing for you. There's different ways to skin the cat. Whereas if you're buying a regular property, you're capped at your income, your credit, your debt to income ratio. And as long as the numbers make sense on the investment route with 10%, you have your closing costs, you have a deal all day, and lenders will lend you the money. We're doing this all the time. It's true, but I just think it's a little bit more sexier for people to want to go that route, because it's like 10% down. I could do that. I could do this. They're giving me a whole bunch of budget to go and do whatever repairs I want. I might just buy a few rentals before I even buy my primary, or get into investing before I even buy a primary. Why? Because they make it a little bit more accessible than buying your per residential property, which is kind of weird, because it's like you're buying a house to do business with, but then the house that you live in, you get scrutinized.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like skewed, but at the same time, I'm not saying it's easier. It's more accessible.
Yeah, I think that the difference I see in the market right now is that it's better if you're trying to do a value add and hold than trying to just turn something quick. I think the turn something quick has mostly run its course, unless what you're buying, you're going to immediately add square footage to, add extra rooms to, add a second, third, or fourth unit to. That's why I'm also saying it's more of the buy and hold. And I'm only saying that from the outside looking in. I do not currently do this, but what I am seeing more people do, and less, is more people do the buy, convert it to what you want, and then hold it in a portfolio versus, do you see any house flipping commercials anymore? Do you hear it on the radio anymore? Do you see internet advertisement for flipping houses anymore?
Well, it's
singles? No, mostly
I'm gonna say it's very
multi-units.
Very difficult to answer that question, because one, everything's changed. It's changed how I watch TV.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I think it's changed in that way, where it's less flippers and it's more buy it, update it, or buy it, convert it, add to it, and then hold it.
Yeah, honestly, I see it differently. I see a lot of fix and flips still going on. And what I mean is, and I understand what Brian's saying, it is difficult. It's more difficult right now to find that deal.
Yeah.
But most, Andy, that are starting are starters. These ones that are buying 1 out of 5, they're beginners. And so the only way they're able to actually build up income is they have to fix and flip. They cannot do the fix and hold. Okay. So that's who we deal with. It's going to be more beginners that have done 1 to 5, fix and flips. They need to build up, gain that confidence, see if they can get other investors to go in it with them. Then they'll possibly start thinking about creating a portfolio. But for now, the majority are doing fix and flips. That's going to put another $50,000, $80,000 in their pocket. And a lot of them here in San Diego, they want to make, if I'm making 50, 60, that's good.
That's their margin. Yeah.
You know, that's their margin. That's good. It is a little tighter right now because the market is shifting and because a lot of people are overpricing their homes. We're starting to see a little bit of the price declines. Therefore, you have to be really, really crafty on what your exit strategy is going to be. You know, for me personally, I'm not into a fix and flip. I'm looking at a property right now. And you know what? I actually wanted to throw a shout out to Pace Morby, Ty De Leon, Adrian Hernandez. We bought 2 properties subject to, and one's about to be completed. And so, man, shout out to these guys. I wouldn't have known otherwise. I got creative. I had some money. I figured out what the bleeding neck for the seller was, negotiate the best terms and conditions that benefited both of us. And now the project's going to be done. In another few months, I'll be able to refinance my 3-unit project. I'll be able to DSCR that, pay what I owe the seller, and get it done with, you know? And then now the next project continues. So I'm very pleased and thankful to these people because if you pay attention to the way they do creative financing, it is freaking awesome. It is unreal, you know? And so now with these fix and flips of what we're saying is, we're trying to just get creative the way it is. 10% down, cover all your rehab costs, and you have to be at a 75% ARV. If you guys don't know that, just give us a holler. We'll tell you how it is. Mm-hmm. It's freaking pretty awesome. We're seeing a lot more realtors getting into this game, that realtors that we work with, and they're saying, well, wait a minute. I don't have to go and claim all this income. I can still take my deductions and I don't have to go W-2 and I can just buy with 10%. And then you'll give me the property to do, yeah. And then what's next? How do we do that next? Like, how am I going to be able to refinance? Well, that's where it gets tricky. Now we got to see what the market rents are so we can turn that property into a DSCR. And if that's the case, that's the way to do it. And that's how you really start building that real estate portfolio that people are looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially as realtors, you guys are on the front line. You guys
Big
are seeing
time.
houses all the time. And it, you know, it occurred to me, you know, once like we were working with other realtors, I'm like, yo, you could just take this down yourself if you really wanted to, but it's, you know, just getting them that information. And I feel, like I said, it's more accessible, but I feel more now than ever, a lot of more people are leaning in towards this because it is a great capital starter. It does start you from there, but I feel a lot of people is the bare minimum entry is through fix and flip. And from there you progress into other things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I hear you saying too is that wherever the math is mathing, then trust the math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So if there's math and there's margin, then you probably have a deal in front of you.
That's it. And, you know, you got to be very particular, too. Like one of the things as an investor, the things that I look at and I help my other investors look at is if it's in a busy street, don't. If it's backing the properties, backing the highway, don't. You know, that noise, the traffic, you know, it just may not work. And if you're looking at properties, always look maybe like a 2-1. If it's going to be a fix and flip, make sure that you already understand with the city how fast you can do a permit for an extra bathroom and bedroom. Because the tendency of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath selling is far greater than a 2-1.
Wow.
You know,
yeah,
so
and yeah, you're right.
tricks.
All those conditions around the property are really primary.
Very.
I know I'm saying a math comment, but also you're right. I can't just say the math works. Like the appetite and the opportunity in the neighborhood has to work for someone who's looking to live there.
And now with the new rules within ADUs being built on a cul-de-sac, all that stuff, you got to be mindful. You have to have the right strategy team to go in it to help you understand.
Yeah.
The great thing is we're surrounded by all these people that help us and support us with our vision of that property. So if we tell them, hey, we're in the cul-de-sac right now, can you give me a feasibility study on this? What we are able and capable of doing right now with this property with the new ADU rules change? Because in the cul-de-sac, you know, we need to now have better parking structure. And if you don't have that, it's not like before where you can just, hey, you have an FAR of this, you can stack up for ADUs.
16 units.
No more of that.
Yeah.
That's changed for cul-de-sac. So it's really good to understand what your rules and regulations are.
So what do you guys want people to do if they're watching this segment of the show in this section and they want to reach out to you guys? What is it you want them to know before they call you?
Understand what you're getting yourself into. And that starts by having a conversation, really running your numbers, seeing your plan, and then putting that into a strategy. I think understanding what you want to do before you do it is going to give you a lot of clarity once you actually take that action. And it's not like, you know, analyze and then get paralyzed. No, it's, you know, take some time, plan it out, and then consult with a professional.
You know, I said I didn't know, but because I was so excited with everything else. But no, absolutely. Just even if you don't know, just come and ask the questions. You know, if you never owned a property, you know, just have a conversation. What is it going to entail to get to a property? And can I even get in a property? Because that's so important. A lot of times we think we're not going to be able, or the process is very difficult, so it kind of detours us from even making that initial call. Don't let nothing deteriorate you. Just set your mind with it. The consultation's free. The questions are free. Nothing's going to cost you. You know, I keep hearing a lot of people, oh, I'm going into, you know, Google. Google is just the search. Google, you cannot search personal situations. Very difficult for you to get the proper answer when it's so personal, like, I've never owned a home and my income is $3,000. Like, it's very difficult. It's going to take you through the rabbit hole, and you just may not want to see what you want to see, and you're just going to be discouraged and not really take the proper approach.
Yeah.
So it's just ask away, you know,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be here in San Diego. Call anybody that's already owned a home. Hey, who's your loan officer that you trust, and kind of go from there.
So kind of no matter what, fire away.
Exactly that.
right. Sounds
I
good.
think
Exactly
if you
that.
think it's a dumb question, ask it, because I guarantee you 100 other people have that exact same question.
So even if you have a dumb question, ask Brian. He'll let you know if it's dumb or not.